So since the end of the Second World War, going back to 1945, we've had a healthcare benefit that goes through our employers, which means that employees are not taxed for their health insurance that comes from their employer. And yet, recently, we've gone to a parallel universe with the Affordable Care Act in the United States, which says that we have an entitlement system with a series of benefits that are based on various requirements designed by the government. And it has led the employers to say, gee, we'll take on the risk pool ourselves.
That's right.
We'll go to self-insurance. And so the self-insured employer is becoming a really big part of the healthcare system. Still a benefit to the employee, but for the employer, because of the inflating cost of healthcare in the United States, the self-insured employer, who has a healthier risk population than the population in general, is saying we need the kinds of services which Audax is presenting.
That's right.
Could you talk a little bit about how you think about the self-insured employer market?
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. And so part of the reason why health became a $2.8 trillion industry in the United States is for that exact reason. So prior to the health self-insured movement, you could spend as much money as you wanted and somebody else paid for it. So it's pretty tough to be a consumer when if you buy a Toyota or a Ferrari, you don't care the outcome because someone's footing the bill. That's what happened in healthcare, from defined benefits and defined contribution back post-World War II to where we are today. And so our largest market right now is the self-insured employer for that exact reason. They are the agent of change because they're willing to go the extra mile for their employees because there is a talent war most broadly in the United States. And that's what makes great companies is the people. And now you're investing more in those people to say, just coming in for work every day is not good enough. I need to keep you healthier, happier, and more engaged. And by the way, if I do those things and I can lower my costs, everybody wins. And so for us, we're launching products with self-insured employers because they can help that employer build a better relationship with their employees and help them purchase and engage in the right products and services with a company like ours. And they save money, and you can save 10% a year. Well, if you're $50 billion company, 10% is a really large number that goes out of your bottom line, and you're going to keep people for longer. They're going to be happier employees, and then they're going to spend less in their actual costs. So now they have more disposable income, and ultimately helps the economy as well. That's why health and particularly self-insured market are such a huge. They're both huge agents of change for this system because it is a revolution. It's never happened before. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head. And for products like ours, it's the absolute sweet spot. And timing is everything with healthcare reform and taxes going up. And you see lots of publicly traded companies talking about the impact of Obamacare's taxes. That gives more of an incentive and more of a reason to try to lower costs by getting better quality for people. And that's ultimately what we're doing with healthcare.